So today we're hosting the panel for the International Women's Week Masterclass. We're going to be talking about kind of gender equality and things that are affecting women in the music industry, also men as well. We've got some great questions. We're open to Q&A later for the floor. It's going to be really exciting, some really probing questions to get all the gory details out.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. As an industry professional, are there any issues that you feel you continue to face?
One of the things that you have to be within the creative industries generally is you have to be resilient and you have to accept that you are going to get a lot of knockbacks. I think I had 100 rejections before I got my first job. And I think you have to accept a lot of people are going to say no. But if you love it, if you have the passion for it, you will get there. And that's what sort of separates, I think, the really talented from everybody else.
There's so many hurdles, and what you have to do is be fired up by a hurdle. You actually have to think, "Fuck you! I'm gonna do this," and look at it in that way. And it's the same thing on the whole gender equation. You just get on and do it. Don't think about whether a guy's better or worse, whether people are being sexy. You just get on and you just steam on through.
Do you feel gender opportunities equally span across all genres and aspects of the music industry?
From such a young age, we're constantly being bombarded with these roles of like what we're supposed to do and what we're supposed to get into, and particularly when you're at the age where you're sort of starting to think about what you do like or what you want to get into. If you're a girl, you're going to start singing or start playing the flute or whatever because that's what girls are supposed to do. And it's really unusual that, and this is why it's very unusual that you get, female beatboxers or like bass players or whatever. It's like we're completely set up to be kind of put into these specific roles, and like as a result of that, there really aren't many female lighting engineers or whatever, and yeah, so that's kind of the beginning of the downfall.
I think the other thing you sort of want that will really show whether the world has changed is if you see equality in all areas of the industry. So it's not just about who's on the stage, it's about the management, it's about the sound engineers, it's about the visualization team, it's kind of in all areas, because that actually is true diversity. And there's a phrase that's often used now, which is kind of diversity and inclusivity. And actually that's what we're talking about. You're actually just talking about including everybody. And if you include everybody, actually you get a much richer, more creative organisation and you get better stuff. And that actually is going to satisfy more people.
Do you think it really is empowering or subversive for female artists to use their sexuality to promote their music?
I think it's the word empower. We shouldn't get our empowerment from that. We should get it from our success with what we do. But if we feel good wearing a catsuit on stage, then we should have the choice to be able to do that and not be judged for that.
I totally agree with you. It's about empowerment, and it depends on where you're coming from on it. So I think that if you're strong and you're not basing everything on, your sexuality, how you dress, or whatever, it's not all based on that. If that's what your career's based on, then aren't you really? It's over. And I think there is a bit of responsibility there for when you become incredibly successful to really question yourself and obviously make sure that where you're coming from is right, but also just think about who the young female followers are, because you're being followed by millions of people who you want to buy your records, and they're going to give you your mansion and your swimming pool or whatever. You have a bit of responsibility back again.
Do you think that schools and institutions such as BIMM have a responsibility to really push and promote this idea that actually, you can be a female drummer, you can be a female guitarist, metal vocalist?
Completely, and that's why this event today is so brilliant, because this is a school saying, it's totally cool, here we are, we're going to talk about it, and encouraging females to keep doing what they're doing.
And outreach projects as well, like I found really important, like taking female instrumentalists into schools, because like quite a lot of the time, when speaking to young people about these things, their response has been, oh, like I don't see any female bass players, so it's not like, why would it cross my mind as something that I could do? So yeah, if like if there are any female instrumentalists in the room that are sort of passionate about this sort of thing, a really amazing thing you can do is go into schools and hang out with young women who are at the point where they might decide to take up that sort of instrument or whatever.
Yeah, or help them continue if they're feeling a little bit worried about it. Like, it's completely one of the reasons why there's a lack of female instrumentalists is the lack of role models. I don't know why, but it's just a lot easier to see yourself in that position if somebody else is doing it. So we have to keep encouraging women. The more we do it, the more we're going to change the industry.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can we have a round of applause for our panel, please?
It's really, really nice that BIMM have actually taken the time to listen to what us as students want and want to talk about, want to discuss and what affects us. And they've dedicated an entire day to it with relevant people on the panel. I really am grateful that I was here today and that I got to see it.